Let's bring in now one of the survivors of that shooting, Lisa Fine. She's also the co-founder of Route 91 Strong, a nonprofit organization set up to help raise awareness and gather resources, I know, Lisa, to support victims, survivors, and loved ones impacted by the horror that night. You know, we talk often about that particular night and surviving, but I understand from today you felt a different kind of pain and outrage. Why?
Yeah, completely. The last couple weeks have been unbelievable, and many of us are completely outraged because in the beginning of the week we found out that MGM is suing the victims and survivors, even dead victims from this tragic, horrific event. And now we've got a potential of guns that are printed by 3D where they go undetected by radar, metal detectors, and now we're never going to know what happened. It would be nice to have some answers. It was a war zone, most horrific, tragic event of my life, and 22,000 people had bullets raining down upon us, and now we have no idea why.
I want just to step back for a second because our audience may not know every detail of this every moment, and just remind everybody why this lawsuit is happening by the owners of Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, MGM, as you said it. They are trying to indemnify themselves against lawsuits by saying that A, this was a terror act, and B, it's just too many people who are coming forth to sue. And so the legal mind says, well, do you preempt all of that just by suing first? So just to get that out there, I know you're very angry. I know the victims don't understand this. It's a legal ploy. But let me ask you this about what you learned today. Was there any closure in knowing more about this man, Stephen Paddock? They described him as someone who had, a damaged mind.
Clearly, he had a damaged mind. None of us know where that came from, but I really was counting on some answers, more than what we have gotten, and everybody is outraged. I have survivors contacting us left and right. We have thousands of survivors that are in support groups that we are in contact with, and our main focus is to raise funds for these survivors that are literally in the darkest days of their lives. But now there's no answers, and it is something very unsettling. I mean, I have a lot of questions. I'd like to know what happened for 51 minutes before they got to him. Why was he not taken down immediately? You take a chip off of one of those tables and somebody is on the ground. The fact that he carried 26 bags of weapons into that hotel will forever haunt me, because I had bullets 6 inches from my head while I listened and watched people in horror and agony being murdered in front of my face. It was a war zone.
Lisa, as we try to get answers, I'm taking notes on what you're saying, too, because legal experts aren't finished yet either. I'm about to interview one of them, and it's helpful to know what some of your questions are and from your perspective. I know with that many people in a crime scene, it has taken some time, but there was a little bit of surprise that it hasn't even been a year yet. And sometimes with shootings like this, and I know each one is individual, sometimes they'll tell us, oh, it'll be years before we ever know. So that's one of my questions. How did they get here this quickly? God bless you and the survivors and all the families of those who were missing loved ones because one monster decided to open fire high into the sky and rain bullets down on you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Well, and it happened 3 years prior that I know about, and it was thwarted by a maid that went into the room. So they were aware that this could happen. And why are they suing the survivors instead of maybe helping survivors? There are people that contact me that say they will never, ever use MGM hotels again. They will never have anything to do with MGM after what they've done. For humanity's sake, I don't know who suggested that they go after survivors like this.
Yeah.
It is a tragic, tragic loss for all of us. It's like a punch to our soul again and again.
I know you were hurting. Lisa Fine, thank you for being with us tonight.